Yeah, we did. We had priorities, sort of clear priorities, as we sort of ended the trade period with trying to bring Nathan in and Pat, and we're really pleased to be able to do that, but also to have enough points to match a bid for Nick, and we were able to clear those priorities. We feel like we've got plenty of points. We were able to get back into next year's draft, and we've still got some work to do over the coming weeks to see where else we can get to for this year and next year.
And Bobby Hill, you made a pretty significant play there by the sounds of it, but they wouldn't budge.
Oh yeah, we were involved probably from Friday, not at a higher level as Essendon, obviously. I think that was his preference, but we were certainly an option for him, and yeah, we made a bit of a play at the end, but GWS were very keen to keep him. He's a high quality young small forward, so you understand that, and he's contracted, and I think it was tabled that they were trying to get somebody else in and wouldn't release him unless they could, so we understood that.
Did you speak to Bobby or his management team at all in that process, despite him wanting to go to Essendon?
Yeah. As I said, we spoke Friday to him, and we spoke to his management team pretty much from Friday all the way through to last night at around 6:30. So there was a fair bit of dialogue, but we understood that his preference was Essendon. But also too, he was pretty clear that he wanted to get to Melbourne, so that was where our involvement came.
Graham, the trade period was pretty dull in terms of more settled players moving clubs, more senior players moving clubs. Given the cap squeeze and the list sizes, do you think it'll be similar next year as well?
Yeah, it's hard to know. Certainly the issues around the cap is something we're all waiting to hear from even now from the AFL. So at this stage, it's understandable that not a lot was done this year, I presume, but then also too, what happens next year, we're hoping that it's we've got a cap for another 2 or 3 years, and then we've got some surety around what we can and can't spend. But at this stage, we don't really have a number for next year, outside of the fact that there is a prescribed number that we're dealing with, which was the last year of the current CBA. So that's the fallback plan, I think, if they can't come to an arrangement. But yeah, it makes it difficult when you don't know around what you can spend.
Brian, is Mason Cox going to be at the club next year now that Max Lynch is left?
We're in conversations with Liam Pickering at the moment, and yeah, we'd like Mason to stay, but that's certainly up to him, and he may have some options around that as well. But Pickers and I had some conversations late yesterday, and we'll pick that up today and see where it sits for him. We're hopeful, but we're mindful that there could be others who have interest as well.
Do you see him playing that sort of backup ruck role given Max is gone?
Yeah, well, we know he can play a number of roles. I mean, he's nearly 7 foot tall, so he should be able to play in the ruck, and we've seen him play in that role before. But he's also played as a forward. But we've got Darcy Cameron there, and we've got some positions potentially open over the summer to see whether we bring in another ruck as a backup, or whether we actually draft one as well. But we know he can play ruck, and we know he can play as a forward. He's played predominantly as a forward, but there's obviously the opportunity to play in the ruck.
Do you have any expectation as to whether North are going to bid on Daicos? And is there a feeling as though, given how strongly they've held on to number one, that they're not going to bid?
Yeah, I think that's a question for North. No, we don't know at this stage. But yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the boy from South Australia who looks like an outstanding young player as well. So I'm sure the bid for Nick will come somewhere in the first 3 or 4 picks. I'd be surprised if it's not in that area. And as I said, we'll prepare for the worst, but hope for the best.
But what's the Max Lynch? What does that mean for you? Obviously, a developing young ruckman, probably seen as the heir apparent to Brodie Grundy, who still has a long way to go, but he would have done a lot of developing under Brodie. What did that loss? Obviously, we lose a young, tall, but never easy to get. What did that mean to the club?
Oh yeah, it was disappointing, and we were on record as my conversations with Max and his management was there was a spot here for him, and we would really like him to stay, but we understood that he wanted to explore the opportunity to be a first ruck somewhere, and he did that. Hawthorn have given him that opportunity. He goes with our absolute best wishes, but we were really solid that we wanted Max to stay, but we understood, Brodie's got a 6-year deal, so when you're an understudy and maybe you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, we understand that you may want to have a look elsewhere, and he's done that, and he has got an opportunity there at Hawthorn to be first ruck. I don't think they've said that that'll be an absolute guarantee, but he's probably got I suppose a better opportunity there to be first ruck than he does here, and we understand that.
So is that Grundy deal, is that essentially kind of forced his hand in a way? He'd be biding his time for too long, and the fact that Grundy's clearly going to be on that deal and doesn't know where he's going anywhere for that 6 years, does that kind of mean if he wants that role, he had to look elsewhere?
Yes and no. I mean, I just because Brodie's got a 6-year deal doesn't mean he's got a mortgage on the position. So he could certainly fight for that spot. But, I think everyone would say that Brodie's one of the best 4 or 5 ruckmen in the competition, so it's going to be difficult to push yourself past him. But that'd be no different to whether you're at Brisbane with McInerney or with Gawn at Melbourne, those type of guys. I mean, they're established high quality ruckmen like Brodie is. So the chances of pushing past him might be difficult, and we understood that.
How many picks do you think you'll take outside or selections in the draft apart from Daicos? In the draft?
Yeah, it's a difficult one to know right now, and normally you start your list management with where you finish, which is how many picks you want to have in the draft. But we'd think somewhere between 3 and 4, so that'd include Nick. So it'll be Nick plus 2 or Nick plus 3. We'll just make those decisions in the coming weeks.
And you'll need to keep more spots open than you'll actually take because of the points. That's the case.
Yeah, potentially, Daniel. Yeah, we may do, but as I said, I mean, we've got 27 and 36 where it stands right at the moment. We can trade, as everyone knows, from Monday right through to I think the 15th of November, and then also in draft night. So what we do with those picks will determine, how many spots we have to leave open to match a bid for Nick. But yeah, at this stage, we can go through to 38, and we've got, I think, 32, 33 players on our list, so we've got the ability to use 5 or 6 picks, but we're also making decisions in the next few days about other uncontracted players on our own list.
And are you in the market with the list of free agent at all, or not?
Oh, potentially. Yeah, we haven't ruled that out either, but what we were really keen to do was get through this period and then make our decisions then.